Embernoon. I'm going to
Recording?
now...
Is Ash recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm going to introduce you to a Desperado classic tradition that we have. We're going to open the session with a restroom break. I'll be right back.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I forgot to charge my... No, not that I forgot to charge them. I forgot to turn them off, my headphones.
Mm.
So now I'm using like my old headset.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not the same. Like now that I'm like used to the other one. Where's the noise canceling? Where'd it go?
I had the music turned down, and it kind of just sounded like a car alarm. I had to turn it up so I could actually hear the rest of the notes.
Is it just me, or is like the volume of like this bot like less consistent between songs?
I haven't
No,
really been
I think
paying
it's
that much
just you.
attention.
Like I feel like I'm like adjusting the volume of this bot more than I did with the old one.
Just maybe. I
You can also have to
normally
do
have the bots turned down pretty low anyways because they're
Yeah.
distracting to me.
It could also
But,
have
like, I
to do
this
with
one on, like,
the
50%
source.
right now. But, like,
Because this
Mark
is
was,
from
like-
YouTube compared to like Spotify.
You know,
Yeah, I have it at like 45, so.
when Desperado ended, my players would mock me and say, if Desperado was so good, why is there no Desperado 2? And I say, this is it, you bastards.
There is a
You
best-
weren't invited to Desperado.
Alrighty. Welcome back. So last we left off, you guys started out in Denver, learned about some things, including Jay Hatfield, went up to Kremling, Colorado, and I forget precisely where we ended. Does anyone remember?
The party decides to go see Lena, the halfling woman, and then they ended
Yeah.
up getting some supplies for the trip up to the dam, and then they rested for the night.
Okay, so you've just picked up supplies for your trip to the dam. Very good. You know that Jay Hatfield is not actually at the dam. He has left a contingent of the cavalry there, but he himself is not there. So, with that in mind, Desperado 2, what would you like to do? Embernoon, what would you like to do?
We slept at that inn or whatever, right?
That's correct, yes.
You're
Oh,
not
shoot.
wasted anymore.
Quinn wakes up like really groggy, like I am right now, and she's like, well, at least my hands don't hurt anymore.
Yes, you do lose all your exhaustion points, so it's very good. Jude outside thinks he's fucking NASCAR.
Your NASCAR guy has been driving by my house lately, by the way.
My NASCAR guy needs to get fucking egged. Telling you, man, hot summer day, just drop some eggs in his, like, broken eggs into his air intake and, like,
Ew.
just let the rest, do the work. Alrighty. What are you guys doing?
Time to head to the dam, unless you guys had anything else you wanted to do in town in the morning.
Nah.
Alrighty. You guys go ahead, gather up your things, grab your mounts, and begin to ride off in the direction of the dam. You do know it'll take about half a day to get there, you estimate. So is there anything you want to do on the ride as you ride down the banks of the Colorado River, the blackened trees and half-rotting dead animals littering the banks. Anything you'd like to discuss?
Just like as we're riding, is there any signs of either cavalry coming through or just like people investigating the area?
Make a survival check. Or are you looking for tracks, or are you looking for like people in the immediate area?
Tracks.
Tracks, yes, survival.
I make a note of what kind of animals are on the side of the banks too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 20. Unnatural. 19 plus 1. We got lucky once.
Alrighty. So you do see signs that a rather large regiment of cavalry came through here, about 100 strong. It seems that they all headed towards the dam. As you're approaching, however, once you actually get to Williams Fork, it seems that the majority of them continued east, and a small contingent, maybe like half a dozen to a dozen, continued south towards the actual dam itself. As for trying to see what animals are like along the banks of the river, you do find that there are like a lot of deer, a bunch of small game, like groundhogs, squirrels, rabbits, whatnot, several birds, and at one point you do pass like a half-rotted bear as it's like half submerged in the river. The frigid snowmelt waters preventing it from rotting too quickly, but you can tell it has been dead for a little while.
Ew.
Once Cora sort of takes note of like where the cavalry split off, she'll like slow her horse down a bit and look back at the party. It seems some of them went east. Should we continue on to the dam to get as much information as possible before we pursue our main man?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Fine with me.
You guys go ahead and ford the relatively shallow waters of the upper Colorado River. Still up here in the Rockies, it is a relatively young river at this point. And down the narrow creek of Williams Fork. The trek is a little treacherous. You do have to navigate through the rotting greenery, the blackened and rotting greenery that lines the side of Williams Fork as the sort of riverbed that you're in gets narrower and narrower until you're forced to ride through the fork itself. As you continue down it, it seems the road to the actual dam doesn't actually connect here, but this is where the cavalry did go. As you ride into the very narrow V-shaped valley of the fork, the tall slopes of mountains rising up on either side of you, littered with boulders, gravels, with only minimal mineral flora dotting the sides. As you continue to ride, you can see that what little greenery does exist, all does seem to be rotting, even up the hill. And eventually, as you round a bend in Williams Fork, hold on, I gotta turn the music down. It's a little loud.
Yeah, it's kind of loud.
It was thrown off. I should have thought. Okay, there we go. As you round a bend, you see rising up before you a tall concrete structure, a concave wall of stone, perfectly smooth, rising over 100 feet into the air. You can see at the base of it a few small sort of pipes, well, relatively small to the dam. They are still like enormous compared to you. They just look small as you're looking at the overall figure of the dam. And from them you can see there is a small trickle of like greenish black water that is trickling from them at a very, very small rate.
Okay.
Guess just
Do we
ride
see
through-
anyone in the immediate area, like, as we get closer to the dam?
Make a perception check.
I'm good at this one.
Excuse me.
17.
17. As you continue to round the bend, you do see rising up on the hillside off to your right is like a relatively flattened plateau area. You can see a handful of small buildings, like maybe 3 or 4. They seem at first glance to just be living quarters of those working the dam itself. But you do see a handful of people immediately visible on top of that ridge as you ride through the river.
Are they in like uniforms or anything?
Doesn't appear to be the case, no. See, one guy is sort of sitting on his porch. He sort of eyes you as you continue to ride up, but otherwise, makes no move, raises no alarm.
So are we riding up towards those people, or as we cross the river, or for the river?
As you continue down the river, this little settlement passes you on like a ridge off to your right. You can climb out of the riverbank, out of the like creek bed, and make your way up there. But if you were to just follow the creek directly towards the dam, you would never cross directly through it. It is on the ridge off to your right a little bit.
At the party, do we want to stop near the settlement and ask them about the cavalry, or should we just keep going?
Is there any reason that we should?
I mean, in case I have information, that's just why I'm asking. What if you guys think we should just keep riding on and just keep going?
I think we should ask them, see if they like have passed by again recently.
Let's go over to the people then.
Alrighty. You go ahead and direct your horses, lizards, and
Camel.
moose and whatever, camel.
Camel.
Out of the creek bed and climb the ridge steadily. As you reach the top, you can see there's only like 4 buildings up here and what appears to be like a few small sheds supporting it. And as you approach the guy on his porch, you can see he does look relatively tired. But by this point, mid-afternoon seems to be just sort of enjoying some mid-afternoon sun while it's still somewhat warm out. As you go ahead and ride and approach him.
Or we'll stop her horse like a few paces from the man. Afternoon.
Howdy.
We're looking for a cavalry we believe may have passed nearby here. Did you see them earlier?
I mean, a few of them are up in the dam at the moment. I don't know where the rest of them are, but there's not very many of them here.
How many?
Oh, I don't know, maybe like 10 of them. They showed up sometime, I think 2 days ago. They haven't been working with me very much. They've been working more with the foreman of the dam, so I may not know much, but they are in the dam. I don't know who you would speak to, but if you're looking for them, I'm sure they'd probably.
Is the foreman with them right now?
I would assume so.
Do you know if they've made any progress with what's been happening?
My understanding is that the reservoir has been poisoned somehow, and so it looks like we're setting up to lower the water level in an effort to drain as much of it as we can. I'll probably be handling that in the next few days here, but I do work swing shifts, so I'm on my time off at the moment.
Sounds like it will be a big task.
I mean, in a way, yeah. Mostly we just run the pipes and keep the sluice open and let gravity do the rest.
Has the cavalry been going back and forth from the dam, or are they just staying there most of the time?
I've seen one or two of them ride down towards Kremling once or twice, but other than that, they've mostly just been here. Seems as if they're working with the foreman on a plan, is what I understand, but...
Cora looks back to the rest of the party to see if they have any other questions for the man.
Gwen's just looking around the little settlement. She's like half listening to what's being said.
Yeah, you can see there's like the houses are small wood. It seems as if they are meant to hold like several people. They're more like, it's less like, you know, what we would think of as suburb houses, more like bunk houses. But there are wraparound porches on them, looks like, so that, you know, people can follow the sun as it runs from east to west. But beyond that, you can see that there are a few sheds that seem to carry just various supplies. And you can see, based on the activity in a few of the chimneys, it looks like they do have built-in, like, you know, kitchens.
Does it seem like, is anyone else around, or is it just the guy?
The guy is the only one outside at the moment, but
Okay.
you can see there is activity in some of the buildings.
Uh-huh. Well, does anyone else have any questions? Cora will nod her head to the man and say, "Thank you for your time."
No problem.
Urge her horse on.
Alrighty. You go ahead and follow the road. I assume you're going back towards the dam.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, you go ahead and continue to ride towards it. You can see that on the eastern end of the creek bed, as the creek does approach, well, it runs away from the dam, but as the creek that you're following approaches the dam, you can see it does get a little bit wider and a little bit deeper. There seems to be some sort of like collection pool right beneath the dam before it like actually runs off into the creek. As you guys follow the small road, you ford the creek and follow the small road towards the dam itself. You can see down below there is a relatively sizable building built into the bottom of it, where these like enormous sort of concrete pipes, and as you approach them, you can see they are, you know, they looked small from a distance, but as you approach, you can see they are like well above 30 feet in diameter. And you can see off on the far side of the creek 3 of these like concrete slides that run off the top of the dam, although there doesn't seem to be anything on them at the moment. You guys continue forward, make your way towards the building. You can see as you approach, there does seem to be a pair of what you recognize to be cavalrymen. The blue uniforms that you saw, modified somewhat by the broader hats of the infantry you saw in Denver, but they do seem to be standing guard outside the entrance of the dam, the main entrance.
Before we get like too close,
Mm-hmm.
Cora's gonna ask the party, so what exactly is our plan talking to these cavalrymen? Obviously we need to locate Jay Hatfield, but how should we go about it?
Why not just ask them where he's headed?
They're going to ask us why.
Say we have important information for him. Classified.
Didn't exactly work well last time.
Well, these people are a little more connected to him.
She looks at Guahuan and Gwyn.
Gwen's sitting there, she's thinking. We could... Well, see, we haven't done much outside research. I was gonna say we could come up with something about the people who are poisoning the river. A little ways away. Maybe they've done something else, but I don't think we have enough information on them to come up with a lie about that.
Plus, they would probably want to know since they're the ones working on the dam.
Perhaps we could say those engines, as they called them. We could say we caught them trying to poison the other water supply. And that we need to inform Hatfield to send another part of the cavalry.
Is there another water supply?
Yeah, they were going to collect water from a different area, right?
Yeah, in Kremling, there's another, like, tributary of the Colorado that they were drawing water from.
I like that idea.
Wahan, you're the con man. Any thoughts on that?
We could just, I mean, we don't have to be honest, but we could just be honest and say we are travelers and we heard there was problems with the water and we saw a little crazy man who puked and there was algae and we were just curious.
But how does that get us to Hatfield?
Gets us with the cavalry, which is the closest we have to Hatfield. We can be of use to them.
We could follow both ideas. Perhaps mention the puking man near the water, and then, if it leads to it, add in our little lie. That way they may be able to direct us towards Hatfield.
The only issue I have, well, I have a few, but the biggest one is why would we be people they would send to Hatfield?
If we have...
We are just civilians.
But if we are first-hand witnesses, then I'd hope you'd want to know from the people that actually saw it.
Say we are concerned about the town. That we wanted to act as envoys to send the message. And to get the town the help it needs.
I suppose that could work.
I think that's probably our best bet at the moment, given we don't have much information outside of what we know. It's hard to find more without sounding crazy or outsiders, which I think would be best to avoid, seeing as we are.
We go.
Alrighty. You guys go ahead and ride up towards the base of the dam. You can see this enormous concrete wall rising up well over 100 feet above your heads, bringing shade down upon you as the sun has dipped behind it as you get closer and closer to it. And as you approach, you see the two guards begin to step up from the posts and walk forward. One of them unshoulders his rifle, but doesn't like point it at you or anything, while the other one approaches. Now, hold up. State your business.
Hello, we heard about your cavalry being sent here, and we're hoping we could speak with Lieutenant J. Hatfield.
Unfortunately, Lieutenant J. Hatfield is not available at the moment, but I may be able to deliver a message for you.
We are travelers, and we are passing by. We saw a man getting sick and dying near the water, and soon learned about the Kremlin's water problem, and we had some important information to deliver to Hatfield. We are concerned about the town.
And what information might that be?
We have reason to believe that the water source Kremlin is now using may be about to experience the same issue.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
Okay. Oh, pretty good. 16.
16? You see him go ahead and turn, and he sort of eyes his companion for a moment. Turns back to you. Well, that is very helpful to know. I'll be sure to deliver that message to him.
Going to glance at the party to see if anyone wants to help her out.
How quickly can you get this message to him?
Oh, I'll get it to him right away. Don't you worry.
Is he stationed nearby?
Hatfield?
Yes.
Oh, we'll have to send a runner. He's out at the moment. Might take a few days, but I assure you, we'll get it taken care of. Don't you worry.
We appreciate that.
Of course.
Unless anyone else has anything to say, Cora's gonna turn her horse around.
Nope.
She'll dip her head to the guard and turn her horse around and start to walk off. And as we start walking off, she'll keep her voice low. We should follow the runner and see where he goes.
I was saying the same thing.
Alrighty, so you guys go ahead and ride on back down the creek bed. As you ride, you can feel the two guards sort of staring daggers into your backs. But as you round the bend, you are free of sight of the dam.
As we were going back down, is there like any other way to leave the dam area, or is there only the way we went?
Yeah, you can go ahead and follow the road. It does cut east through the mountains ever so slightly before turning north.
I'm basically trying to look out for where the runner would leave from, basically.
The runner would follow that road off to the east.
Okay.
So you can follow that road, or you can just go down the riverbed like the way you came in.
Should we follow the road? What do you guys think?
Yeah, we should
Probably go in the
sneak out
direction
there
where we
and
think
hide
he's
out
gonna
of-
go, yeah.
Alrighty. You guys go ahead and follow that little road. How far are you following it? It does go east. As you go ahead and ride along it, you do discover it goes east for about a mile and a half before it does turn north, and you can see from the top of the ridge that it does climb up, that it does eventually wind its way back down for connecting with the road that you took to Kremlin as it crosses the Colorado River.
I don't think we should go too far, just in case he takes a different path.
Yeah.
As you guys climb the ridge, you can see from up here, you are You've like climbed up above the height of the dam. You can now see the broad reservoir of water behind it that is looking a little low compared to what you recognize to be what would be like the banks of the reservoir, but not terribly so. And you can see the creek bed of Williams Fork itself. You can see the Colorado River on the other side. You've got a nice position up on top of the ridge here as the road turns north.
We should camp out here. So.
Yeah.
Go.
Alrighty, where are you guys setting up? There's very little vegetation up here.
I don't think we have any like cloaking spells, do we?
Just dry, dusty, and rocky. Although the terrain is pretty rough.
We could act as though we are
Taking a break.
needing to camp here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Take out all of our stuff. Have to put it back away when we see the guy on
maybe
the
like
horse.
have like one tent like half put up. Maybe act like we're like taking a water break or something, you know.
Hmm.
Wait, Gwen's like, oh, wait, I can actually get rid of the tent I have, and she'll pull out the one that they have that she never uses. Start putting up hers.
Alright, you guys start to set up. By this point, you estimate it's probably an hour until sundown. Though again, the sun does drop below the mountains before it is actually like nighttime. So you estimate you got like an hour of daylight to sort of do your thing. If you want to set up camp immediately, or if you want to sort of ride over the ridge and then come back and set up camp, you can do that. It's up to you.
We can't see what's over the ridge.
What was that?
We can't see what's over the ridge. We're like a little below it, but we can see over the dam.
Yeah, you're near the top of the ridge, but if you were to like drop behind the ridge, the dam wouldn't be able to see you like make camp. I don't know if you're trying to be stealthy, but just in case you are.
Okay, yeah, so like
that
go a little
interpretation
farther.
is available to you.
How far does it take to get over the ridge?
You'd only probably have to ride like another 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, well,
Get
I want to
over
go
the ridge.
scout over the other side of it
Yeah.
regardless, so.
Yeah.
Okay. You go ahead and ride over and peek over. You can see it is. The Rocky Mountains live up to their name. It is rough, rocky, little vegetation. You cross over the ridge. It looks like just about any other ridge, although there's no creek and no dam on the other side.
How long has it been since we talked to them?
In order to make it up here, it probably would have only been, I don't know, like by this point, probably like half an hour.
Okay.
Would it be weird for us to camp out here?
You don't see any signs of like roadside stops up here, so you estimate it might be a little weird, but you don't know how weird necessarily. It's certainly unusual.
I mean, if it's starting to get dark soon, then I feel like it's not out of the question that we might feel like we need to stop.
Should one of us feign an injury?
Oh, good idea. Who wants to feign an injury?
Aaron, break your leg! Jorta, fight! Or Gahuan?
Wow.
Wait.
Fight Guahan.
Oh, come on, you guys already did it back in that tent.
We did, and
Yeah. It was a pretty good distraction.
That was not clear when there, and I do not like that.
Aaron
Wasn't
should
jealous of
pretend to
my
sprain his
cowboy
ankle.
hat this time.
Eden should pretend to sprain his ankle. He is the squishiest.
I'm not squishy.
I will gently push you on the ground, and you will fall to a rock, and ow!
Aaron will just like sit down. It's like, I don't need to be pushed.
Oh, I insist!
Oh, you hurt yourself from standing in one spot then. That's a good plan.
Can I try and grab Aaron and roll him around in the dirt so it looks like he fell? And his
I
clothes
don't
get dirty.
know, can you? Aaron, are you going along with this?
No!
Are you looking to, like, fight Aaron over it?
I want him to get dirty.
Okay, make an athletics check. Aaron, make an athletics or
Oh,
acrobatics check.
Asshole.
Oh no, your shoes are gonna get dirty.
Ah, no!
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. We got this in the bag.
Do you?
Yeah.
An athletics check?
Yep.
Oh, it's different now. Sorry, I never updated.
You got that
stuff
extra
when I put
strength, yeah.
put the belt on. I just realized. I'm a little more girthy. Okay, it's a dirty 20.
4.
Aaron, much against your will, Guahan, how do you do this to poor Aaron here?
He's not poor.
He's not.
Hey!
Get in the floor, dirt boy.
Gahan's just gonna like grab him by his collar and like one of his legs so that he has an even weight distribution. Just kind of like roll him down like a little bit. So that
Alrighty.
he's scuffed up.
Aaron, you are forcibly rolled against your will, despite what protest and fighting you can put up. You find yourself covered in mostly dust from like crushed rock and gravel that the train is made out of, and a little bit of dirt, and it's dry, so there's no mud, fortunately. But you're like well and truly dusty.
You owe me a bath.
Aaron, you can see now, has like this nice little like gray tint to all their clothes.
Should I also give him a bruise on his ankle?
That's a good idea.
Okay. Can I?
Kick him in the shin.
Yeah.
Still. With my +7 of medicine, can I injure him without injuring him? You know
I mean, Aaron, are you like okay with this?
No!
Okay.
Like, hit
Guahan,
somebody.
make an attack roll.
Like an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Aaron is not cooperating, a check will not do, and if you're committed, you're gonna have to make an attack roll.
Okay, the only unarmed attacks I have. Oh, I guess never mind. I do have I can hit things. Okay, I just don't have that written down. I have a
One,
bite attack.
Juan like casually puts on some steel-toed boots to kick Aaron in the shin with.
It's not great. It's only a 16.
So
I mean, that hits.
Does it break Aaron's
Yeah,
AC?
that's higher than my AC.
Okay, so what is your strength?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What is yeah.
My strength's a 21.
Alright, so you take 6 bludgeoning damage as Guahan like well and truly like kicks you as hard as they can as you're like struggling to fight.
That's just rude.
Got like this little smart on like the side of your leg.
Oh no, you are injured. We must rest.
Or like is digging out some like bandages to like pretend to help wrap up his ankle, and like yes, we must fix that. Kimaretti was a little rambunctious today.
We're just kind of like standing off to the side, like laughing because Aaron just hated like everything that just happened to him, and she's like, "Yeah, this is a good show. I'll tell Felix about this when we get home."
This is like the opposite of things I want to happen to me.
Gets beat up by your own party members just out in the dirt. Alrighty, so you guys pretend to treat Aaron's real wounds.
We don't pretend to treat it. We'll treat it. I just won't cast magic for it.
Okay, so you pretend to treat Aaron's real wounds, and you guys set up camp, I guess?
The tent that we don't use, yeah.
No. Alright, you guys go ahead and set up camp. After about an hour, the sun does start to dip below the mountains, and you see no sign of a runner emerging from the dam.
What the hell? This is the worst runner ever. So slow.
I'd say we should set up real camp and then have someone on watch. Look for the runner.
No, I do have a thought.
Oh? Wait, weren't we gonna scry?
Yeah.
We were going to
I
do
forgot
a
about
thing.
that.
However, I have a second thought.
What's
If
your thought?
I was back in the military, army, warriors, and some random people came up to me and said, the second water supply, it may be poisoned. I would personally check it out myself before notifying my general or commander in case it was not true and I would fall for it.
That's smart thinking. It's a little late to pretend to.
Well,
Sorry,
I am
what's
not
the
the
title?
smartest wizard. I just thought of it now. Meeting up the little evil man helped.
I mean, as you're having this conversation, you have not seen anyone leave the dam at all.
Okay, yeah.
That is good. That is good.
Well, we have a few options. We either stay here and wait to see if they send out a runner in the morning, or we pretend to poison the other water supply.
I reckon we should stay for
I think we
tonight
should stay. Yes.
and
Is-
continue with our main plan.
Is there any possibility that there is an underground way that they could have left from the dam, or is it like very obvious that everything's above ground?
Make a perception check, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, that's
Boats
that's
left.
about on par with.
I
yeah.
would say take your roll. I would say you can use either perception or just a general intelligence if you'd prefer to do that.
You know, it doesn't really matter either way. It's a 7.
You don't really know. I mean, from what you can tell of the dam, it is like this massive concrete structure. I don't know if any of you have ever seen anything like it before. You
Oh
know,
no.
a
I
good,
can't answer if we have or not. I don't know if we have dams in Embernoon.
It's like a good, 100 to 200 feet tall. It spans this like whole gap between two ridge lines, so it's very wide. From the top, up on the ridge, you can see it's not like super thick at the top, but it does widen down towards the base. But you don't see beyond like again, now that you're further away and looking at the dam as a whole, the relatively small looking like sluiceways that emerge from the front of the dam and over atop the creek. You don't see anything that would indicate like a tunnel.
Okay.
What about a boat?
The creek is very shallow, and pretty narrow. It was definitely walkable. You estimated its deepest point on the outer ends of bends. It was probably only like 4 feet deep. And most of it was shallower than that. You do estimate, of course, the deepest part is right at the base of the dam, and you don't know how deep that is, but you also didn't go into it, so.
We didn't see any birds fly or anything, right? Like a messenger bird.
There's wildlife out and about. You didn't see any birds leave the dam, no. It doesn't appear, and I mean, from what you saw, the guards went back to their posts. Neither of them stepped inside the dam.
You could scry on one of the guards, and no, that's a little later. Like they might be talking to someone.
We could bomb the dam.
No.
Not gonna lie, that was something I was thinking about. Is what if we just blew it up? He would come probably. You know,
I mean, we could, but why don't we try this runner thing first?
I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty good plan. My Eldritch Blasts are black. They might not see it if we do it in the night.
Wow. And as you guys continue to watch as sunset comes, you do see eventually the that little town, or the town, like the little like group of buildings does start to wake up. You do see a number of people begin to leave the dam, and a number of people begin to move towards it as like it looks like there's a shift change in the dam. And as you do watch from above, you can see bombs, lamp oil. You can see the guards also begin to change, and as you watch from above, you can see them start to have like conversation.
We should scry on them.
We can already see them.
We can
But we don't
hear
know what
them
they're
though,
saying. Yeah.
and since we've met them, we have a better chance of them not saying.
Yes, but I don't have anything of theirs. Just
You don't have to.
But the chances of being able to succeed is much greater if I have something of theirs.
Correct, but we don't. I can also scry if you are.
Good.
I would prefer if you try it first, and then I can try it if it fails, but...
That seems
You have scry.
unsavory.
Yeah.
That's alright.
That's how I plan to find the werewolf that bit me, she says, pointing to the big bite on her arm.
I bite you.
Alright, so is anyone scrying then?
Gwyn is staring at Guahan.
Really? I guess
As you can see, this conversation with the guards continues as the shift begins to change.
Why on that one man that we spoke to?
Alrighty, what do I have to do?
I'm reading it right now.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
Lamau, I'm willing to bet I failed, but what's your spell save?
Hang on. It says the target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well we know the target and the physical location.
Okay.
So
You've met the target.
So they have a +0?
It's just a straight roll.
Okay. And there's no negatives. Okay, we don't have anything others. Okay.
What's your spell save DC?
Only a 15?
Don't worry, I got a 7.
Wow.
So on a failed save?
Very powerful.
As you go ahead and cast it, your vision and hearing does sort of blink out of your consciousness and appears right above the guards that are currently speaking. And immediately you can hear their conversation. They seem to be discussing more or less their plans for the next few days, but you can hear as the conversation continues ever so slightly, one of them says, the guy you talked to says, yeah, a group of travelers came through here about an hour and a half ago, and you can see them sort of look up towards the ridge. They set up camp on that ridge. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but if they're still there in the morning, it may be good to get rid of them one way or another. So keep an eye on them tonight. They're a little suspicious. They had mentioned the poisoning of the other water source near Kremling, and, well, we know that that's just not possible. So I don't know what the hell they're playing at, but if they know too much, well, you have my authorization. If they ride up to you, just shoot them.
Great.
Hey, it's good that we know this.
As you continue to listen, you can hear the guards continue to say, well, it's likely the guards that are coming in, it's likely based on how things are going, we're probably going to dispose of Horace tonight, make sure he gets replaced, and then from there we'll start emptying out the water, and well, we can go regroup with Hatfield after that. Alrighty. Well, get some rest. I'll see you in the morning. And they go their separate ways.
Like, so they said they were going to dispose of Horace, and then what about Hatfield?
They're going to dispose of Horse and replace him. And then once they're done here, once the water starts to get drained, they're going to leave.
Have we heard of Horace? Sorry, I haven't been taking notes, but is Horace someone we've met before?
I know you haven't met him. I believe you did hear his name, however. He is the foreman of the dam.
Right, okay. This... nice.
What?
You cut out.
Apparently they can see us now.
Oh.
Beyond the ridge. So what did you hear?
Okay, hang on, wait, sorry, there's fire alarms going off outside. I'm just going.
Also, Ashley left, so I don't know if we want to wait for her to come back, or...
What?
Ashley is kill.
And do not dead.
Kind of left
Died
in the
from
middle of
ankle.
information, but it's
Ankle.
just like...
Facial injury too strong.
Aaron is knocked unconscious by Guahan and is stabilized at 0 HP and has to wait 1d4 hours before coming conscious again.
1d4, right. That's
Can
a
I-
2!
Can I
2
cast
hours!
Cure wounds on... No, I'm joking.
No, I'm joking. Does not joke about hurting party members, does joke about healing them.
I mean, it's pretty on point for this character.
I do not heal people. Should I wait for Ashley to come back or?
I think she's about to come back. I think I might have just heard her walking.
Yeah, we can wait.
So I didn't write down anything I just heard, so I have to say it quickly.
Never mind, I think she's walking away again.
Just
What?
say
Maybe
whatever.
not.
What?
Okay. Well, they know that we stopped here, and they think it's a little suspicious, which is it is a little suspicious. They do not intend to send out the runner. They know from an assumption that the second water source cannot be poisoned, so I do not think it was that group of people that did the poisoning. Something else must have happened. That is localized at this spot. But they also mentioned perhaps they would put it delicately, they were going to kill us in the morning if we were not gone.
I mean, that's fair.
And they were also going to kill or dispose of Horace?
Foreman.
Yes, of the dam. And they were going to leave once the business that they were supposed to do here of dropping water is done.
That sounds a bit suspicious.
It's not trustworthy, no. I should have mentioned I can destroy water. Should I have said I can help with lowering the water? Or
Would
should
you be
I
able to
roll?
do that on a big body of water?
I can do little chunks at a time.
Isn't it like a 5 square, like,
I think
cube or something?
I need to look it up. It's really small.
I think it's like a 5-foot cube. Like,
It's
it's not
something-
very big.
It's adorable. Oh wait, no, that's not what I want. A control. Ooh. I can control water.
Can you use control water to, like, blood bend somebody?
No.
No,
Why?
because it's like freestanding water.
Why?
Why?
What
It's
if
like that one person who like made someone's like lungs explode? Like made someone's lungs fill up with water with a spell
Yeah,
to kill them.
create water.
I could cause the dam to flood, but I don't know how that would help. I can also part the water and make us a nice walkway through the dam. I can make a whirlpool.
Or what if we just put a hole in the dam like we were talking about?
I could flood the dam. By 20 feet. Or I could make a way.
I don't
There's
particularly
a
want to be
lot of
hot
water
in the
this
morning, so
register- in the reservoir.
It's I can only it's only the amount of water that I can control is an area that's inside 100 feet cube.
Yeah, you'd be there for months trying to do this one.
I can flood it a square at a time.
Maybe even years.
So basically, what you're saying is Hatfield is not coming here. They're not going to tell him.
No.
If we stick around here, they're gonna shoot us.
Yep.
They're gonna
Well,
kill Horace. Do we kill about Horace? Care?
Yeah, do we?
Do we kill?
We get to him first.
Yeah.
Well, if they are planning on killing this horse, then it's likely they have something to do with the poison, seeing as they know
They did cannot
what's
smell it.
supposed
Yes.
So if we have a few options, either we go east where Hatfield might be, or we find some way to bring him to us.
Or we poison the second water and prove that guy wrong. But that is cardinal sin. Water is precious. We should not poison it.
If we dispose of the cavalry here, could perhaps leave one alive to go deliver a message to Hatfield.
Like that's worked so well before, and she kind of like turns to look at Jorta.
I beg your pardon.
She just gives him a look.
I will fight you like I did little man.
Well, I think I could put up a better fight than him.
You could definitely put up a better fight than him.
I think drawing Hatfield to us would be our best option. So in that case, how do we go about dispatching the cavalry?
Dispatching the cavalry?
Dispatching of, as in killing them.
I want to
While keeping one alive to send a message.
Whoa! Yes, we must become enemies.
Well, they just swapped out shifts, so we don't know how many. Did we see how many swapped?
In terms of like dam staff or like the guards that you saw?
How many people left the dam and how many went to it?
You did see that leaving the dam were probably like 36 people, and going to it were like maybe, 18 or so. The vast majority of them are just dam workers, though. You did see that the guards that swapped came from inside the dam. So you only saw the 2 that you guys spoke to and the 2 that replaced them.
We just pick off the guards then? I don't see any reason to kill the normal employees here.
Ash, since you're back, we're discussing. You heard all the scrying, right?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
TLDR, they know we lied because they said it was just not possible that the Indians could have poisoned the other supply. So we assumed they had something to do with it. And they said they were going to dispatch Horace the foreman, and then go to Hatfield once they had like lowered the dam water. And so now we're discussing the idea
Excuse me.
the idea of bringing Hatfield to us by disposing the current cavalry and leaving one alive to like deliver a message, basically. Because we don't know exactly where Hatfield is, so seeking him out would be more
Did
complicated.
they say how long it would be to train the dam?
No, but I assume it would take some time. So now and the guards who switched out came from inside the dam. So we're discussing that stuff.
Bombing. Did we discuss bombing?
We did.
There are dam workers, and I don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
Was that like the
I
last
mean,
one?
you also know, looking at the dam, that this structure is like enormous. It
Yeah.
would take one hell of a bomb to bring it down.
How far away from the dam are we?
You probably have to ride like half an hour in order to get back. You're only about a half mile away, but the trail is kind of windy and a little steep.
Would it be possible for us to disguise ourselves as dam workers for the next shift to sneak ourselves in, and that way we can catch the gods off guard? I know stealth isn't typically our strong suit, but it is a suggestion.
We also don't have Felix to
We don't have
disguise us.
Felix.
And this is a small town. I think they would notice that a lizard had appeared.
Oh, that's true. Just an idea.
And have we seen many other darker skinned people like Cora here? Like, is she the only one?
Not the only one. You do see a few in Denver, but they're not exceedingly common.
Mm-hmm.
Why not attack the dam, but try to keep it in a target area where the cavalry.
That's so funny, Shayna.
I actually was saying, why not? Sorry.
This is Aaron saying that.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to catch them off guard rather than. We don't know how many inside the dam is the thing. So if we can pick off the guards, it would be easier.
Big enough to draw Hatfield.
I'm saying to make the fight easier for ourselves, we pick off the guards. And then perhaps dispatch the rest of the cavalry.
Do we know how many people went with Hatfield?
You estimate Hatfield's force, based on the tracks, was about, in total, probably like 120 men.
Oh my gosh.
Can't do it to bring that many back.
When to catch them, you're gonna have to whittle that down somehow, some way or another.
I will flood the dam.
Well, because, I mean, table talk. So, if we dispatch the guards and then we get rid of the rest of the cavalry at the dam that we know of, then in the time our messenger is going to, get Hatfield, then we could decide, how to pick off the rest as they're coming to us, you know?
What do you mean dispatch the guards?
Kill them!
Yeah, I mean, are you thinking we're sneaking in and killing the guards and then
I don't know yet, that's why we're talking about it!
we bomb the dam?
No, we're not bombing
We're
the
not
dam!
bombing the dam.
Also, if... Another
Because
idea...
There's innocent people inside.
But the dam is big enough that we could probably target just the cavalry. Men.
How would we do that if they're all inside?
Or we could scope out and see if they are in separate areas when they're resting or watching,
I also had another thought. What if we told the foreman they're gonna kill him? Or like
Whoa.
get the
Yeah, we could try and
side.
get him on our side.
Is that also part of the scry? Did they say they were gonna kill the foreman?
Yes, Horace the foreman. I said that.
Does the foreman have any particular power?
The foreman might have some sway with the other dam workers.
The foreman runs the dam.
Yeah.
Yes. And if we bomb his dam, I doubt he'll be very happy about it. Not to mention, we don't have any bombs.
But there is oil down there and some other stuff in it.
There's oil?
Lamp oil.
Lamp
Wow.
oil. Nope. Bombs? You want it?
We got alcohol, can make a Molotov.
This one.
Ah, yes, an incendiary device on a concrete structure.
Yeah.
A concrete waterlogged structure.
You see, Cade, we like to bomb things without having bombs.
I can tell. By this point, the sun is set and it's starting to rapidly grow colder.
Oh god, not this again, Quinn said.
I was just gonna ask really quickly, because I misinterpreted our position on the ridge and the terrain a little bit, which is my bad. But so we have like direct line of sight of the dam, right?
Correct.
And
I
vice
assume
versa.
because you were watching it, I assumed that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah, no, it was. I just didn't think about. They could also see us.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you can see them, they can see you.
Yeah.
That is in fact how that works.
Well, I can't see you, so you can't see me. Not how it works, kid. So when we scouted out the other side of the ridge, is there a way to like wrap around behind the dam, kind of?
There is. If you guys continue off the road towards the south, you can make your way to the banks of the reservoir and approach the dam from above.
What is above?
Higher elevation.
No.
But like, is it like 100 feet above, or like?
No. That's not what I'm asking.
Like
Is there
what's
like a giant rock?
Oh, so we hit the rock and it
no.
the dam.
No. Like approaching above the dam is in like approach it from the top rather than from the bottom. There's no point where you can stand, look straight down, and there's the dam. Okay.
That would be a bad dam.
Wait, I have an idea.
What about like at an angle down?
I have an idea. If we can draw, I mean, this might be after dealing with the first half, but like, if we could draw the cavalry to us, if we could somehow like get them in the water of the dam, we could have Guahuan make like a wall of fire to dissuade them from getting out and like try to drown them.
Wait, what?
I know, that was just a thought. I just wanted to throw that out there to think about later.
What's the passive perception of the group?
15.
Yeah.
Not very
Not
good.
higher than that.
Yeah, it's not higher than 15.
Okay, hold on. I do genuinely need to write this down.
Yeah. And I was gonna mention that since we know we're gonna get shot and we're being watched, could we like either start moving or
Oh, yeah,
be on the lookout for people coming up, probably not on the main road, to kill us?
You do know, first of all, yes, you can do that. Second of all, with your passive perceptions, after having a discussion about approaching the dam from the top, you can see that there are a few structures on the top, like on the pathway on the top of the dam, that you estimate might actually be able to put you inside of it.
We infiltrate from that side.
We infiltrate and pick through them.
Have we considered just going to where Hatfield is?
We don't.
We already talked about that.
Did we
We
swear
don't
on
know
it?
his exact location. because we only have a picture of him and we've only heard of Hatfield, there's a much bigger chance that Hatfield would know, and that we would not be able to scry on them.
But we could try.
Question: if you fail to scry on someone, do they know? I can't
They
remember.
know. They know that you failed, and you can't cast it for another whole day on them.
But we could try.
Yeah, and then he's gonna be like, "There's a lizard looking for me."
So?
I don't think that they do know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Says
It
I don't think
doesn't
they
say
do.
that. It says,
I know they had to make the check.
no, they don't. If a target knows you're casting this spell, if they already know, they can fail it voluntarily.
Oh.
On a failed save, there's a censor, blah, 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 blah.
On a successful save, the target isn't affected, and you can't use the spell against it again for 24 hours.
So, we could both individually cast it if one of us fails.
I thought Ian told me they would know.
That's not how it works.
That is incorrect. They wouldn't know.
Yeah, I was like, wait, now that I'm rereading it.
Because that does admittedly defeat the purpose of scry.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that was so garbage. Okay, that makes it so much stronger. Oh my gosh. We scry on Hatfield as we move along. Oh wait, cast 10 per minute.
Do we
How do we
want
get somewhere safe and then we scry?
to scry and then... Is there any reason we're not trying to break into the dam tonight?
That's what I was just about to say.
Like,
What if we did it tonight?
Why not just do it tonight instead of wasting
mean,
more
I
time?
have
We should
I think
scry.
we should.
Well, yeah, but we shouldn't say where we are.
You're not actually having a broken ankle.
I'm down 6 hit points.
You're fine!
I was going to heal you if you were nice to me.
Says Guahan after fucking punching Aaron.
Okay, Mr. Health Amulet, I think you're okay.
Drink the
Taking 6
potion.
damage.
But let's scry.
How did I only have 2 5th level spell slots?
What if Gwen scries and then we take a short rest so she can get her spell slot back?
Let's do that.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh.
I can do it again, but I will be out of 5th levels.
So I don't have to do anything. Cade has to roll, and we have
So
a
we have
picture, so that's second hand you've heard of the target.
So he gets a +3 to his roll.
It's a +5.
Well, no,
But
because
minus
you
the
have a
2.
likeness, so it's a -2.
Hmm. Oh, likeness or picture?
Mhm.
-2. Okay.
So he gets a +3.
Alrighty. So I'm rolling the save, and what's happening?
It's a
Wait, where are you
-3
getting
for-
3 from? I'm seeing -2.
Okay, well, because you add the
+5
knowledge and
minus-
connection.
What? You guys both talked?
+5 -2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So plus. Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
That is a 19 on the save.
Well,
That is my spell save.
Riv?
So he saves.
Yeah.
Close.
As you cast the spell, you feel it almost go through, and then it fizzles and dissolves into nothing.
She just sits there and she has this dirty look on her face, and she's like, it doesn't work.
You are
How do you have a 19
Has-
save?
I have a Rod of the Pact Keeper.
Makes sense. Okay, that makes a
Yeah,
lot
no,
more sense.
hers is nutty.
It's like, what? I was like, you don't have a +6 proficiency at the moment, so...
You don't know!
Insert me complaining about her insanely strong rod again.
Stop.
Just have better stats, forehead.
It's not that hard.
Literally, the rest of my stats are trash. I don't want to hear it.
It's so fun.
Alright, so the scry fails.
Yeah.
Okay, so one, we're sneaking into the dam tonight, and then did we want to try to sway anybody? Like I said, with the horror stuff.
We could... Are we sneaking in, or are we just going to go in and then try to not get caught, and someone's gonna see us, and then we're gonna start like stabbing people. Like, what are we actually doing?
My thought was we were gonna try to sneak.
We should try and intercept non-cavalry people.
So the cavalry all wears their blue uniforms, correct?
So far from what we've seen, yes.
What do we do when we run into people that aren't cavalry?
We ask to see Horace. As soon as possible. Unless Horace is napping in that little settlement, then this is a waste of time.
So we asked to see Horace, and then what if these people start yelling? There's a
Only silence.
What if we scry on Horace? Figure out where he is.
I don't even know who Horace is.
I mean, we can try.
We're gonna have Gwen take a short rest, so it doesn't really matter, right?
As long as it's a guaranteed short rest. I think during this time, we've been up here talking, Gwen would have, like, actually set up the tent, because it's cold up here.
Okay.
We're all, like, shoved in this little tent.
Yeah, try to huddle together to keep warm.
So if I scry on Horace, we literally don't know anything about him, so he gets a +5. Alright! Make a roll, Kate. I guess she'll do it again.
Is a 10 on the dice, which puts us at a 13.
He fails.
15, but fails anyway.
An 18, very good. Oh, he fails anyway. So as you go ahead and concentrate on the scry, this one does go through. And you can see what looks like a relatively portly older gentleman. You can see he is graying hair. He's got like this thin mustache, sort of balding on top of the head. And he's walking along with what you can see are two of the cavalrymen with him. And they're discussing, you can hear the cavalrymen discussing, we found something in the sluiceway. I think you ought to see it. Basically, there seems to be... What?
They're about to kill him now!
I think there might be, yeah.
They are. And as they like lead them through the hallways of the dam, you can see that the hallways are relatively narrow, pretty low, dimly lit by what looks to be the same little glass bulbs that you saw in the cartographer's place. You can see just exposed pipes and wires sort of like moving along the ceiling. And eventually they approach what looks to be a like very large steel bulkhead door. And as they begin, one of the cavalrymen begins to turn it. Horace sort of peers in and is like, "Can I get a light, please?" When a cavalryman passes him a lamp, and he sort of like looks in. You see him react. "Oh God, this smells disgusting! What the hell?" He sort of steps in. And as he does so, you see the rifleman behind him lower the rifle. There's a crack of a gunshot as he falls down, and you hear the slam of the bulkhead door a moment later as Horace is left to die in the sluiceway.
So during all of that, the rest of the party has not seen her scry yet. After she casts it, her eyes go black. And she's sitting there and she's watching this happen, and they're walking through the hallways. She's like, "Man, this place is creepy." She's like mumbling to herself as she's watching, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't have a good feeling about it," and he's dead. And then the spell ends, I'm assuming, when he dies.
Not necessarily. You do see the lamp sort of starts to fizzle out as it seems to be submerged in a little bit of water, but you can see he's not immediately dead. He's like slowly bleeding out, and you get to watch for however long as he bleeds out.
No, after about like once he falls in, she's like, "Oh, I'm not watching this," and she's gonna end it. Well, there goes that plan, she says after she's out of her spell. They
What
shot
does
him,
that mean? Oh.
pushed him into,
That's sort of what you're looking at, by the way.
yeah,
He's dead?
bleeding out, yeah.
We could
Where?
still use this to our advantage.
In the dam? I don't know.
Well, if we could get...
You did hear that they were going to the sluiceway.
Okay. Well, I will relay that.
Well, if we could get to him, either 1, we could save him, or 2, we could use his body.
So I was going to say is that we can tell the townspeople that Cavalry killed Horus, and we can prove it by using a zone of truth.
Or we could get a horse on our side.
He's probably going to be dead by the time we come across his body.
Aaron, like, crosses his arms. Did you forget who you're dealing with here?
Ah, well, I suppose that's true. Fine, we seek out Horus then. We bring him back.
Bring him back to talk to him, or bring him back as a zombie?
Either.
Both,
Kind of like motion swords, Aaron. It's his deal.
both are bad. We
Gwen
should
just kind of like
burn his body.
inches the bridge between her like eyes, just like, okay, whatever you guys want to do.
Alrighty, so what are you guys doing then? Heading towards the top of the dam?
I think that's our plan, yeah?
Yes.
Alrighty.
An area that was above or whatever.
Yeah, you can go ahead and you don't even require a stealth check. There's no one guarding the upper levels of the dam there. As you sort of skirt around and approach from the banks of the reservoir, the sort of glassy surface of the water extending for, you know, as you're approaching the edge of the dam, like a good quarter mile to half a mile across before it rises up into the banks on the far side. As you guys approach the dam, you suddenly find yourself no longer walking on dirt, dust and rock, and on solid stone, concrete. You can see it's like smoothly laid, not porous at all. It's like perfectly smooth. And as you walk along the top of the dam, you can see ahead of you, off on the right, is a low single-room building by the looks of it, with another what appears to be a steel bulkhead door.
We took a short rest, by the way.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Door.
Alrighty, you go into the door. Inside, you can see a steel staircase that descends down about a dozen steps before it reaches the landing, turns 180 degrees, goes down another landing. Peering down the center between the railings, you can see it drops down and down and down for a good, what you estimate to be like 12 floors at least, getting darker and darker as it goes down.
Dark vision.
Yeah, Gwen looks and she's like, I can't see down there.
You can see it. The wire is just getting dimmer as you go down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like pitch black down there, but like the lights are getting. I mean, for one, they're not very powerful, and they're getting further away. And for two, you can, based on the lighting level, you estimate that most like the actual like operations areas are like on the upper levels.
Do we hear anybody?
Make a perception check.
I'm so good at
Can I
those.
make one?
Oh, wait,
Go
I got
for
a nat 20.
Oh.
So it's just a 20.
Just a 20? Alrighty.
Yeah.
In this stairwell, no, you can't hear anyone. But as you're looking down, you do start to hear deep from the interior, like a groaning of metal on stone, like a grinding. It's like this rumbling, creaking sound from deep within the dam.
Maybe we should
Yes.
Alrighty, everyone go ahead and make a stealth check.
I get to roll twice.
Me too, but at
Because I'm
disadvantage.
Because I am bad. Oh wait, it's actually not bad.
I got an
rolled a nat
18.
one.
Not
Oh.
bad. I got
A nat 20 on
a
this.
12.
A 12.
I got a 19.
18.
19. Alrighty.
Nat one.
Overall, I mean, it's still okay, and you know there's not actually very many people in the dam at the moment. So fortunately, even with the Nat 1, you guys rolled collectively high enough to dodge the, 12 people in this whole thing.
Yay!
As you guys go ahead and descend the stairs, Aaron sort of limping on the bruised leg and leading the metal stairs
I
to
was,
clatter
feeling
loudly.
back about it. It really had to hurt my ankle right before we went into this.
I'm casting Cure Wounds.
No,
Wow,
I could
go
have healed on the
bother.
short rest.
Yeah, you would have healed on a short. You're just being dramatic then
Yeah.
for the sake of
Yeah.
being dramatic. Yeah, so you cause the metal stairs to clatter as you go down. You do have to go down a fair ways, about 6 or 7 landings before you reach another door, and on it you can see a sign that is labeled "Higher Operations."
This is a lot of stairs for a busted ankle.
Or excuse me, Head of Operations. I apologize. Head of Operations.
Can we put our ear to it and hear voices inside, or is it quiet?
With that perception check from earlier, I would say as you press your ear to the wall, you can hear a few voices on the interior. Yeah, what appears to be, with your 20, what you recognize to be 3 voices. Muffled through the concrete walls and the steel door that is, keeping sound bouncing around on the interior of the room.
Do they seem even, or does it sound like people are arguing?
Seems pretty even.
There's a couple people inside. Do we want to go in here, or do we want to keep looking for Horace? Quite certain he's not this way.
They mentioned the sluice way. Was that what it was?
The sluice way is
Sluice way.
where Horace was.
Did that appear to be inside the dam?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Maybe a.
No, actually, this is point of order here. Do any of your characters know what a dam is on this level?
That's why I said I don't know earlier.
I don't know if
I
we would
don't,
either.
I don't know if we know what a dam is. I feel like
Dams
Should understand the
existed since
concept.
antiquity, but of this type of dam, like a modern dam.
yeah, I feel like I'm leaning towards a no, we don't know what it is. I feel like we maybe have seen more archaic basic versions of dams, but I don't
Mhm.
feel like we would know what this kind in particular is.
Sure.
Because I feel like our world is a little bit more influenced by magic,
Mhm.
but not
Yeah.
obscene amounts of magic or anything. I
Mhm.
feel like this style of architecture is not prevalent.
I will say, whoever wants, make a general intelligence check.
Well,
To
I was gonna ask. A sluice way is where water
It's like
goes through or
runoff,
something.
right?
Correct.
So
yes.
would we be able to discern? We know the word sluice.
Yeah. In that case, you would. Yeah.
It's a
So we
way.
were like, oh, this has to do with water.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it would be damp, right? Or we're not in it yet, though, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, you did know Horace fell into water.
Mm-hmm.
Shallow water. Shallow running water, no less.
And he said it was stinky.
You did.
Yeah. So you could probably figure out that it would be on the lower levels of the dam, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that how dams work? I don't know how dams work on the
I
inside of
assume
them.
it would
so-
be lower
When?
level,
I know, but
partially.
it was inside, and Gwen's never been in a dam
Yeah.
before,
A
so
lot of these hallways. I mean, you're just in the stairway at the moment, so it's hard to tell. Actually.
yeah.
I think we should keep going down.
Alrighty. You guys continue to head down deeper and deeper. You pass by a few other floors, soon to be administration. At one point, you got to duck up against a wall as you do see through like a little glass window on the door a person pass on the other side on the hallway, but you dodge their sight as you continue deeper until rather abruptly below you, you hear the creaking of a door opening and voices begin to echo up from below. As one of them says, "Yeah, we'll head up top, see if we can't get things lowered." You recognize the voice, Gwen, as Horace's voice.
Oh.
They probably disguised him.
This is like 2 levels below you, maybe, 60 feet down.
Yeah, Gwen looks a little confused and she'll relay what she's hearing.
You whisper it. You start to hear the sound of footsteps begin to climb the stairs. It appears to be three pairs of footsteps.
Is there anywhere for us to like duck into to hide?
No.
Question.
You can go through a door into a landing, or you can go further up to run away, but there's nowhere to hide here. You would have to choose between going up, ducking in, or fighting it.
You said there was a door by us?
Yep.
Did we hear people inside that room?
Didn't appear to be the case, no. What was your question, Cora?
Or this is a question from Aaron, but this is about the shape of the stairs. Is it like, as the stairs like go down, is it just like walls beside us, basically?
Yep.
Like you can't see down below the level,
You can peer in between the stairs because they go from landing to landing and turning. You can peer between them and look down, but you can't like jump off on the outside of the stairs.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah.
Could we do we want to look or do we want to go into a room?
The door.
We duck into a room then.
Alrighty, you go ahead and pull open the door. Who's pulling open the door?
Or we'll do it.
Are you trying to be
beefiest.
sneaky?
Yeah, we're still trying to be sneaky.
Make a stealth check.
Well, I've bad stuff.
Just Cora? Who's opening the door, or all of us?
Yeah, whoever is trying to operate the door has to make a stealth check here.
Not bad. Let's see. Alright, not bad. 15.
15? Ooh. Uh-oh.
This is pretty good for me. Okay.
That unfortunately does not beat the passive perception. As you go ahead and like quickly, as quietly as you can, turning the handle and then pulling on the door. As you pull it open slightly too far, and you hear as the metal creaks.
Hits against the metal, and she's like,
as the door creaks slightly, you hear down below, "Oh, what the hell is that?" As one of them begins to go, I'll check it out real quick, hold on. He starts to move up the stairs a little bit faster, taking them, you can hear is taking them 2 at a time.
Gwen pushes Cora in, go in!
Yeah. Cora's gonna go in and then go next to the door, back against the wall with her weapon in her hands.
Yeah, you do.
If someone comes in ready to strike.
It's not a room. You can see there's a long curved hallway to your left and a long curved hallway to your right. And there are a few doors further down on both sides, but you're just in a hallway now. As you duck in and duck behind the wall, waiting. What is everyone else doing?
I mean,
I'm gonna follow in and summon my weapon, I think. Maybe we're gonna have to stab people.
Yeah, I was gonna try and help Cora set up a mini ambush if he opens the door.
Alrighty, you guys go ahead and set up, and as the...
Or wait, how sharp is the curve?
Not particularly. You see that picture I sent you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that. Oh, I see.
That's what you're looking at.
Wait, what picture?
soft
Oh, that, I see.
Okay.
Yeah. But you guys set up on either side of the door on the
Yes.
interior of the curve here. Are you closing the door behind you, or just leaving it open?
We'll close it.
All right, you go ahead and close the door.
Gwen's
And
gonna
you-
whisper really quietly, maybe we should just knock them out, not kill them. Just a thought. As the guy's running upstairs.
Alrighty, you guys duck up against the wall and close the door behind you. You hear the as it slams, and then you crank the wheel shut.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it'd be loud, but they already knew.
Yeah, I mean, especially since everything in here is concrete, it echoes like crazy with any sound. You slam the door closed. I mean, you don't like, full on slam, but like even just like a gentle close is super loud. As you duck behind, you sort of like turn the crank and hold it closed, and then sort of duck back up against the wall before you hear footsteps on the far end of the landing, and the top swing on the door begins to turn as it begins to open. Do you do anything?
I'm ready to my attack!
Ready a strike?
The second the guy, like, I can see whoever's doing it, can Jorta, like, grab him and try and grapple him into the hallway?
Sure.
Prepare to grapple.
You hear the door open, the top swing turn, and then the door creaks open, and you can see stepping inside a cavalryman, rifle shouldered. He's like not like readily armed or anything. Sort of peers in, turns, looks at you guys confused, and is like, you can tell he's about to say something, and you guys are doing what?
How about Jorta go for one arm, Cora go for the other, so we
I'm
both grapple him?
grappling him and
I'm
trying to silence
I'll
him.
cover his mouth as they do that.
Okay, everyone go ahead and make an athletics check that's grappling him. It includes you, Aaron.
Gwen was just gonna, like, if it looks like he's gonna get out, she was just gonna bonk him in the head with the butt of her glaive. Like,
An 18 athletics?
See? A 20, a dirty 20.
Ooh, oh no! What do you got, Aaron?
6.
It's a 15 on the dice. He's got a +6 to acrobatics.
oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Yeah.
As he turns, you hear him say, "Who the hell are you?" And you guys go to grab him. He like dodges out of the way and quickly unshoulders his rifle. You see him level it at you guys, like firing from the hip. Roll initiative.
Wait, I was striking though.
Oh, sure. Go ahead and hit him then.
Wait, how does
Oh,
that
fun.
work? I'm hitting with it. I guess I use, because I have polearm master. I'm hitting with the butt end of it.
Okay.
Let me find my notes to that. I hardly ever get a chance to use it.
I can still hear the fire alarm.
Oh.
Initiative. Whoops.
Bonus action.
Let's see if,
polearm.
See if Gwen can one-shot him.
What do we still have? What is our initiative plus? It's still.
That's a 27 to hit him in the head.
That does hit.
All right. Well, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, guys, so don't expect it. Yeah, alright, well, that's, what am I looking at? That's 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait, sorry, and... What? I wrote this down really bad. Ability modifier plus D4 and bludgeoning damage.
Can your vines grapple him while you do? Like what?
This
like,
is-
So
this
it should be the damage dice plus whatever stat you're using. So if you're a warlock, probably charisma, I would assume.
Yes.
Well, no, you're not a hexblade though, are you? But I don't know how you.
I'm kind of like a funky version of a hex blade, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. So is it charisma that you're adding then?
Yes.
So it was ever on the dice plus charisma, and then whatever other modifiers you might have. I don't know. If you do, tell me what they are.
I am pulling up the thing because my shorthand is garbage, and I don't
Isn't your glaive a
understand.
+2? Isn't your glaive a +2?
No, just
Have
hold
you
on,
never
everyone.
used this glaive?
No, hold on, everybody.
Your glaive is +2.
You're level 11 and just now figuring out your glaive works.
This is a feat that I literally just got. I have
Oh, I
not had
see.
a chance to use it.
I see.
Okay, so the D4 is the bludgeoning damage that I did, and then I'm stacking my charisma and stuff. That's the oh yeah. So it's a 7.
Your glaive only does 1d4
This is an
damage?
offhand. I'm hitting him with the end of my glaive, not the pike part.
Okay. Okay, sure. In that case, yeah, that makes sense.
My intention was to bonk him in the head so we could knock him out, but everybody else failed what they were doing.
Hey, we rolled pretty good, but Cade rolled better.
You rolled a 7 damage. He's still looking up, and he sort of slides like, ow, staggers back a little bit, but like looks
Ikey
fine.
on the end, so she bonks him in the forehead.
You see him start to curse as he levels his rifle. Roll initiative for me.
Oh. Yeah, that was pretty good.
How do reactions work? Time?
If you have a feat that has a built-in reaction, then you can take it. Otherwise, it's opportunity attacks or whatever. Okay, so Guahan, you are up first as this guy is like, who the hell are you? Gets bonked, escapes your grapple, and is now leveling his rifle at you guys.
I don't like that he escaped my grapple.
Grapple him again.
I am gonna try and grapple him again.
Alright,
I feel like it's not even worth being like, wait, don't shoot, because I hit him in the head.
This is like a test of honor now. Is it athletics again?
Yeah. Oh boy, here we go.
What does that mean? I'm scared.
Battle music.
Song.
Oh. I have the bard muted. Maybe I should unmute it.
You're missing all the
Oh my gosh.
My
noises.
Hero Academia season
Wait,
2
it's actually
voice.
super intense. Okay.
Nice trombone solo.
That was
Right?
Keep rolling kind of back. I got a 23.
23? Well, you got another 21, so you do manage to grapple him.
Oh, okay.
So as you sort of like tackle him to the ground, he's like sort of half standing. He can't move anymore, but he does still have his rifle out.
Take this thing!
Is that your turn?
I mean, yeah, I'm not
Grapple's
I
an
can't do
action.
anything else besides grappling, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, can you stab him with your tail?
That's an action.
Oh, I thought that was a bonus action.
No.
Lame.
Alright, Gwyn, it's all you.
Well, okay, so you guys are like grappling each other? Is that what's happening? You're holding him?
Guahuan is trying to grapple the rifleman, and succeeded. However, he is still up, and he does still have his rifle out. So, like, when it comes his turn, it's not like he's disabled or anything.
How far into the doorway is he?
About 5 feet. Like,
Can I close the door on him?
sure, you can go ahead and close the door as a free action.
Well, I don't want to like push him outside. I want to like
Keep him in.
I want to like squish him in the door. Is what I
Oh,
mean. Like, is he far enough?
No, he's like inside now,
Okay. Okay.
in the hall.
And his rifle is pointed at us.
That's right.
Can I? Oh boy, yeah, I'm gonna use this spell honestly. I'm gonna. Can I like attack his rifle?
No,
Why?
because that's not how 5e combat works.
Okay, fine. I'll stab him.
Okay, go for it.
I stab him twice. Okay, we got
If you could like full on disable him, yeah,
You
can
can
go ahead
you
and
can
do
try to disarm someone in 5e, can't you?
I don't think there's a specific feat for it in the Battlemaster archetype called Disarming Strike, but it's not like a standard action. No,
well, the first one's a 25.
that hits.
Oh, and the second one's probably not gonna hit. That's a 12.
That does not hit.
I'm imagining this guy has a lot of HP, so I'm just gonna keep hitting him.
Go for it.
And then my Why? Why do you do this to me, dice? My offhand polearm is gonna be a nat 20.
That is a crit. Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So that last one is gonna be
Double the dice. 2d4.
wow. Okay, and then the first damage is a d10. Hey, I'm rolling good, but like not on the stuff that like matters. You know, like you feel me? Okay, so we got. She takes her first swing, connects with his arm and does 16 damage.
Okay.
Slashing damage, and then she swings again. There's not enough room in here. She's like, Aaron, get out of my way! And then she goes to hit him with the butt end of her pole arm, and that does 10 damage.
Okay. Yeah, as you go ahead and as he's like sort of lowering his rifle, Guahuan like tackles him, and as he goes down on the ground, you swing down with the glaive, deal some significant damage. As he falls to one knee, you sort of with the back end of your glaive, thwack him across the head, and he does collapse onto the ground. He is unconscious. I assume you wanted non-lethal.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. He's unconscious. Yeah. Alrighty. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Alrighty. As
That guy.
knocked him out. As you do that, you do hear from the stairwell footsteps coming up. You do see one of the riflemen reach the top of the stairs just as you knock him out, and you see him curse like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" And he's going to take who is standing in the doorway. It would probably be Guahuan, is like in the doorway. Yeah. He's going to take 2 shots at you.
The door's closed, isn't it? Oh wait, no, we left it open.
No.
Never
He
mind.
left it open, yeah. All right, so he's going to take 2 shots at you, Guahuan. Does a 16 hit you?
No.
What about a 21?
No.
Really? Very good. He takes 2 shots. They sort of like in the narrow corridor. You do hear the bullets impact on the on like the ceiling and the wall behind you before he's going to turn and move down the stairs, and you hear him call, "Horace, you're going to want to get out of here." That's his turn. Cora, it's your turn.
Get Horace!
Yeah, I'm gonna. Cora's gonna book it out of the room, and instead of focusing on the person, is he blocking her way, or like can she run past him?
You could probably run past him, but Horace is like, these guys ran up the stairs. This guy's like, the guy you're trying to go for is probably going to take you a dash action to get to.
He's how many feet far? Would
Horace?
you say?
Do we
Yeah.
know that Horace is Horace?
I mean,
We don't
you
know.
hear his voice. Horace is like, I don't know, you estimate probably like 65 feet down.
65. That wouldn't mean a dash wouldn't make it.
Well, I don't know your speed.
Well, 30. 30 is the typical speed.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I should clarify. He does go on the rifleman's turn. So he would have backed up a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
How about... So Cora's gonna dash out, and then I'm gonna try to... make an attack to shove the guy down the stairs.
Go for it. Make a athletics check.
No, it's so
Oh,
using the
shove-
attack
shove
action.
Shove attack
Yeah,
is the
it's a
attack
regular.
action. Yeah, it is. You're right.
Oh, yeah, this is a good roll. 27.
27 does hit.
So I shove him down the stairs.
Okay, he is going to take a d6 of bludgeoning damage from the fall. He does take 3 damage. As he's turning and like starting to call down, you sort of catch him with like what, your shield? Do you have a shield? I don't know what you have.
I was just gonna shoulder check him.
Just shoulder check him, and he sort of slips on the like slippery concrete stairs, and you see him tumble down onto the landing.
Out of my way!
Then I will go the rest of my movement And then I will cast Misty Step to get closer to Horus. So
Okay.
that's another 30 feet.
Are you going to provoke an opportunity attack from this guy?
No, because Misty Step is a teleport.
Okay,
so I will
you're
just
going to Misty
disappear.
Step before you leave his range. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Alrighty. That would put you, like, basically just landing above Horus.
Okay.
You see the same figure, portly older gentleman, thin mustache, balding on top of his head.
That's my turn.
A little confused. Alrighty, that brings us to last in the initiative, Aaron. There's the initiative order now.
Wait, so is the guy that's being grappled, is he down?
He's
Yes.
down.
He's
unconscious.
out.
But not the guy that fell down the stairs.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and because he fell down the stairs, he moved effectively another 10 feet away from you.
So he's like 70 feet away or 75?
No, the guy down the stairs is like 30 feet away from you tops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aaron's just
Used
like...
most of his movement to get up, some of his movement to go back down, got shoved down the flight of stairs. He's about 30 feet away.
Aaron's like, what is even going on? Like, this is ridiculous. And I'll just, he gets a cantrip. He's not worth a spell. Told the dad, so that's a wisdom save.
You have to see the target.
Oh, I can't see him?
He's on the landing directly below you. You would have to go down the stairs a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll walk up so they can see him.
Okay, yeah. Alright, so what does he have to do?
It's a wisdom save.
Alrighty. That is a 9 plus 1. 10.
What a failure.
Oh.
Seems to collect dice. What is this guy's alignment?
I fucking know why.
Is he good, neutral, or evil?
Is that like a mechanical thing?
Yeah.
What is the mechanical thing?
I get bonuses on damage based on alignment.
Well, I don't usually use alignment. How does it work? Give me a TLDR.
It's basically like, if they're gun aligned, it's like a plus, it's
Plus however much to
plus
damage.
3 if they're good aligned, otherwise it's plus 1.
Okay, it's only plus 1 then.
Okay.
Well, I'm now inventing alignment as we go because I don't use that system.
Alright. Ooh. That's 29 necrotic damage.
29 as he like sort of tumbles down the stairs. You know, the stairwell's still echoing with the crack of 2 gunshots. There's like gong, and you see him sort of like confused for a moment before he is killed on the stairwell. You see him sort of collapse as his life.
Wait, he's
force-
dead?
Yeah, he's dead. You can't non-lethal a spell.
I mean, it's cavalry. Our goal is to kill him, so it's fine.
If we kill
Oh, I
all
guess.
of them, we'll have eventually kill Battlefield. And I'll use the rest of my movement to move towards Cora.
Alrighty, combat is now over then. That was a single round. As you guys catch up to Horus, I assume, what are you doing to him? As he's sort of like backed up against the stairway, hands up, like, well, hold on now, I don't know what's the meaning of this.
Gwen's gonna be like, I thought you were
Hold on.
dead!
I want to slap him.
You walk up and you slap him and he's like, ow, what the hell was that for?
Does his face like turn red?
Yeah, it does.
Does anything about like making contact with him indicate that this is like an illusion?
No, you make contact with him. The only thing you guys can tell is that there's like this faintly like acidic smell in the air. But he's like, I mean, I thought I was dead too. These guys come and save me. I'm just a worker here. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Please don't kill me.
Where did he get shot?
Can I see it from this area that we're in? Like, do I see...
You know he got shot
hallway?
in the back.
Oh! Wait, Aaron's asking where on the person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm asking. Yes. Where?
Okay, okay. I'd probably like grab his like arm and like turn him around.
Okay, you grab his arm and turn him around. You do see a hole in the back of his coat.
Can I smack it?
Yeah. You smack it. He's like, "Ow!"
Smack a gunshot wound.
Having like observed one of the corpses from like the water thing before, can I remember if there was a smell associated with it?
You do remember, and it is the same smell. It's sort of like acidic smell of like rot and like sulfur.
And we didn't smell that when we were in the dam earlier?
You don't smell it anywhere except for near Horus. This is the first time you smelled it since you were, seeing those guys on the river.
You could have been taken over by that thing. The algae.
What thing? What algae?
Did you
Shut up.
to drink any water?
Well, yeah, I've been drinking water. How the hell do you expect me to survive out here?
The contaminated water.
No, we've been getting it carted in from Kremlin.
Where did you get shot?
They shot me in the back. Don't worry, they've already been dealt with.
Location in this facility. Where was that?
He sort of looks at you like, I don't know if I want to give that up. It would have been deeper down into the dam.
Cora's going to level her blade like at his throat. Take us there.
You sure?
She glances at the other party members.
Can Jorta's kind of short, so he's gonna try and get to eye level with Horus. I don't know how tall Horus is.
I'm pretty short. He's 5'2". He's pretty short.
Okay, well, Jorta's still shorter.
Wait, this guy's really small.
Yeah, he's
Gwen's
pretty
taller
small.
than him.
He's gonna stare into Horus's eyes. And he's like, "Are you involved in the funny business here?"
Funny business? I just run the dam.
Why would you defend the people that shot you?
Because they didn't shoot me. This gentleman saved me, and he just killed one of them. And I'm really hoping I'm not next.
We came to save you.
This is one hell of a rescue.
It is a very good rescue. Because you are alive.
I don't know if I'm convinced.
Does his fear seem genuine?
Make an insight check.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so bad tonight.
That's normal.
It seems pretty normal.
Cora, do we want to question him, or should we just move on?
My thought was we could investigate the area where his body was to see if he's been replaced.
Wherever he was shot is where the water's coming from.
And this may not even be the real horse we're speaking to.
Yes, that was my thought, is that if you...
I mean,
Yes.
I don't know what the hell you're on about. I've been working here
Shut
since this dam was...
Can I roll insight? Does he genuinely seem like he believes that he's Horus?
Make an insight check.
My insight is good. 19?
19. You do get the sense that it is being somewhat genuine, though you are picking up there is a sort of vague like stiltedness to his speech and actions.
Mm-hmm.
He does seem like somewhat confused.
My thought was that if we could cast Zone of Truth and question him and see if this is actually one of the cavalry men in disguise.
But do I have to waste a whole spell slot on
If you
Zone of
don't
Truth?
want to.
Why don't we have him take us to the spot first?
Yes.
I mean, down in the lower levels of the dam, it's kind of dangerous down there. Generally try not to go down there except for on specific maintenance days, and certainly not at night.
Oh, well then it's great that we have a guide then.
I don't know if I want to go down there.
Oh, well, that wasn't really an option.
All right.
Look at him kind of expectantly, like, lead the way.
Before we let him take the lead, I'd say we make sure he stays attached to us, and Cora pats the rope on her hip.
Table talk, should we do anything about the guy that we knocked out upstairs?
I feel like we should probably kill him. It's a cavalry dude.
Should we take his clothes?
Kill him and leave him naked?
I know for us, but...
And leave him naked?
Yeah.
He'll be naked. He's dead. He doesn't care.
Wait, can I run upstairs? I want his rifle.
Alright, you can get his rifle.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna use to shoot my Eldritch Blast if I ever do.
It's a standard
I thought you already
issue.
had one.
I thought you already had one for Eldritch Blast.
You don't know.
Well, do I know?
We have
This
this
is-
We
whole
are,
picture
yes.
at the
I haven't
beginning.
pulled it out yet.
This is a Springfield 1873 breech loading.
That's the one
rifle.
I've got.
Yeah, it's just a normal rifle.
Are these real guns?
As opposed to what,
Sorry,
BB
table
guns?
talk. Are these real guns?
The Springfield
Yes.
1873
Yes.
is a real rifle, yes.
Okay.
That was standard issue in the United States Army.
Cavalry
No, it's a
man
prop.
walking around with fake guns.
It's a prop.
Fucking
Nerf
BB
gun.
guns and paintball guns.
An airsoft gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I pick it up.
Peace
You pull the
bonding.
trigger and it shoots confetti and a little flag that says bang.
It was a trick.
Alrighty, so what are you guys doing? You take his rifle.
I'm taking
The unconscious guy is still in the hallway upstairs with the door open.
Clothes.
Okay, you can strip him down and take his clothes. You
I'm
now
gonna
have
put them
a
on.
okay, you are now in cavalry uniform.
Yeah. How tall is this guy? He's-
We're just gonna for simplicity here, we're gonna say is your height. The clothes fit you. But the dude is still unconscious in the hallway with the door open.
Kill him.
You kill him. You took his
Okay.
clothes already.
I'll kill him.
Okay, you go ahead and you like pull out your dagger and like stab him and he dies. And now you've got a dead guy in the hallway with the door open.
Okay, like,
Anyone want his
We-
clothes?
shut the door.
Sure, you go ahead and shut the door. You've got a dead guy in the hallway on the other side of a closed door.
Wait, can we take him into the stairwell? Because
Sure.
we saw
What are
that
you
there was
doing
one-
with this body? Like, I need to know.
We're just leaving it in the hallway.
Well, we could.
Unless Aaron
Well, first of
wants
all,
it.
Aaron likes to have dead bodies.
Yeah.
Or we could just take them deeper into the dam and like keep them down there.
Yeah, we should
We
bring
are
them
literally
with us.
crazy people. We walk into this dam, we're like, oh man! We like try to grapple him, we knock him out, and then we like shoot another dude,
Wait, do I have?
and then we take their clothes and put them on. Like,
We should just leave him in
See,
the
I don't
hallway.
have that spell
Or
prep,
the
so I'm not
floor.
gonna drag the bodies around.
Just leave him in the stairwell with the door shut.
And pray.
Okay, so there's a dead guy behind a closed door, and there's a naked man in a hallway.
You've
Well,
now
someone's gonna
got
take
you've
this
now
guy's
got
clothes.
2 guys in the stairwell. One of them is naked. Both of them are dead. They're both with you in the stairwell. The door is closed.
Cora, I think you look mighty fine in a cavalry uniform.
When we saw pictures of the cavalry, were there any dark-skinned people in it?
Of Hatfield's unit, no.
Yes. Cora looks at him and she's like, I don't think that would work. Also, are they all men?
They are. And you also know that they are... The uniform doesn't count as, like, armor.
Yeah. I'll pass on the uniform, thanks. You can walk in front, though. And...
Oh.
with Horse, of course. And she loops a rope around Horse.
Alrighty, you now have lassoed Horus to you. Leaving the dead bodies in the stairwell, hopefully to not be discovered, and Horus leads you deeper into the dam. You descend another 2 flights of stairs before 2 levels rather before you open the door that you had heard open before, and it again leads you into a long curved hallway. He has you all in. He tells you to please close the door behind you.
Why?
For security purposes.
Oh, you're concerned with security right now?
I mean, yeah. These bulkhead doors are pretty thick. If there's some sort of failure somewhere in the dam, they're going to keep an area protected for long enough, hopefully, for people to get out. So please, close the door.
Is he telling the truth?
Make an insight check.
12.
You assume so? Like, he seems like, please close the door, like, genuinely, like...
She kind of squints at him before, like, closing the door.
Alright, he leads you down this long hallway before, eventually you see a door, appear just ahead of you. A particularly thick metal door that you recognize, Gwyn, as the door that they opened when, Horus was shot. And Horus says, now, on the other side of this door is the sluiceway. You're going to want to be careful because we have not alerted any of the dam staff that were down here. So if we go through this door, we're going to have to close it behind us and hope that they don't open the sluiceway. So I would prefer not to go in here.
Can you explain to me how this sluiceway works?
Yeah, so basically, on the end of the reservoir, on the reservoir side of the dam, there's a rather large steel door called a sluice gate, and we have controls, and if we can winch that open, it'll let water flow through the dam, along the sluiceway, and out the sort of drains on the other side, and it flows into the creek. This way we can regulate the level of water in the reservoir, but since we're going into the actual sluiceway, if water starts coming in, again, we're set to lower the water at some point here, but if water does start coming in, then, well, we're kind of in trouble. But, again, for the security of the dam, we do not want water flowing where it's not supposed to, and if this door is open, you're going to threaten the integrity of the structure.
You get, like, a heavy blink from Gwen. She's like, I don't understand, but sure.
Okay, 2 things. First, is there any way to tell if the sluiceway has been opened recently?
Well, we know it has. Or the door, at least.
Not this door. Like,
The actual sluice gate itself? I mean,
Yeah,
I can go
yeah,
ahead
the
and
sluice
check the records. I know that the last time we, like, opened it well and truly was about a week and a half ago. Drained a little bit of water. We wanted to be ready for the snow melt that's coming up.
so if we were to go in there and observe, we'd be able to tell if the sluice gate had been opened, like, let's say today.
Oh, I can assure you it hasn't been opened today.
That doesn't answer my question, Horace.
I mean, it'll be wet on the interior. What do you want me to say?
Okay, that's perfect, thank you.
Table talk. Did they go far into the... Like, they opened the door, he just, like, stepped in and then they shot him, right?
Correct.
We open the door, we take a quick look, we leave the door open, we see if his body's there.
Sounds.
Well, my thinking was that it could have been possible that his body flushed away.
Perhaps.
We could probably see that, depending on how much water is in there right now. We open the door.
Open the door.
Alrighty. You open the door, you start to peer inside. You can see on the interior there is a sort of this wide concrete tunnel. It's like 45 feet across, 45 feet tall. And inside you can see, those of you with dark vision, there is a very shallow channel of water running down the center very slowly. It's sort of pooling up off to your right, where you can see there is a massive steel sluice gate that is like closed and blocking water from flowing out. What you would know would be out is out of the dam. Inside you can smell this like just awful stench of acid and sulfur as you peer inside, and as you open the door you do not see Horace's body in front of you. Off to the left you can see rising up is a... Oh, how far is your dark vision?
Normal dark vision.
Which is 30 feet, is that right?
I think it's 6.
Oh, 60.
60.
60? Yeah. The tunnel extends off to your left.
Does the air smell weird in here?
Yes, it is very strong acid and sulfur smell.
The same smell from the deceased and diseased person.
Yeah, that's correct.
And Horace.
Horace, is there anything off to the left down there?
I mean, that's where the sluice gate is. You do hear at this point, behind you, the way you came from, one of the steel doors begins to open. It's out of sight, but you can hear it echoing down the hallway.
Should we close this door? Gwen says as she turns around and looks up that way.
I do not want to be locked in the sluice way. Horse's body isn't here. We have no reason to stay in the sluice way.
We
I
could
agree.
compromise the integrity of the dam, as Horace so suggested, with leaving
Not
the door.
down here where we're in immediate danger. And
think
we
that's a
already
good idea.
discussed we don't need to blow up the dam.
It wouldn't be immediate, though. Would it?
Gwen's gonna, like, start closing the door.
Yeah, we're gonna step out of the sluice way and close the door,
Oh, yeah.
I think.
As you begin to close the door, Horace is like, oh, hold on, wait. Hold on. And you sort of see him, like, peer inside briefly and sort of look around confused as he seems to be eyeing something further out into the dark. At which point you hear him cry out in sudden surprise, and you watch as very rapidly his body just dissolves into, like, a pool of gunk on the floor.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys-
I had a feeling.
The rope sits loose, and it's just now like this little puddle of slime that begins to flow down towards the body of water down on the end.
Let's get out of here.
Yes.
Come on. We're gonna leave. We're gonna go back to
We're
the
walking
cave.
away. We're going away from here.
Alrighty, you go ahead.
Why are we leaving, like, leave the door open and then we leave and then the dam breaks?
No, we're closing the door.
Why?
You're the only one who wants to compromise the integrity of the dam.
Aren't we trying to get Hatfield here?
We
Yeah.
already discussed the plan
I
to
don't
take
think
care of the
we did.
cavalry. Yes, we did.
As you are having this discussion, you start to hear a number of sets of footsteps come rushing down a metal flight of stairs. It's echoing down the hallway.
So we closed the door. The door is closed. It's
The
not
door is closed,
open
and you're
yet.
you're not in the sluiceway.
Okay. Are we going that way to meet them? There's no other way for us to go, right? Okay.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, you would
Wait.
have to run down that hallway.
How about we press up against the wall like we did last time? We come through the like last time.
Well, because people come straight down the. Is the staircase right next to us, or is that like down the hall?
The staircase is down the hall and out of sight. You curved around the edge of the dam here, or the interior of this hallway, so you can't actually see it, but you do hear footsteps moving down. And as you guys are sort of pressing up against the wall, you hear Horace's voice down the hall say, "Take me up to the operations room immediately."
Oh my god, what's happening?
At which point you also hear, "Get him."
Quinn's standing there, she's like, there's clones of this man, he's a multiple people, and they're all slime. So we're staying pressed against the wall, or are we going somewhere?
It's up to you, but you do
I
start
think-
to hear footsteps ascending the stairs now. In
They're
very
going up?
rapid fashion, yeah. There are more coming down, but there is now a set of footsteps that you can also hear going up as it clatters up the steel staircase. You can't see it; it's way down the hall. But again, because it's just all stone and metal, everything just echoes super far down these hallways.
We should keep trying to go up before they lock us in here.
Yes, we should get out of here.
Okay, let's
We're gonna keep going, I say.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh, my good rolling stopped.
14. A little better than last time.
7.
Oops.
Oh boy.
So what is our plan?
We
Like,
stabbed
actually-
people
Get out of here?
to
What do
get
you
out.
mean?
No. Like, good.
Just kill everyone, I guess? I don't know. This is
That's what we had talked about. We were picking people off the cavalry inside the dam.
Hence, sluiceway.
God,
Alrighty.
we don't want to break the dam.
Why not?
As you
Because
guys
there's
are
non-cavalry people inside the dam that we don't want to kill.
As you guys run down the hallway having this discussion, you can see emerging from the end of the hallway about 4 of the cavalrymen, rifles already out. As you guys come into sight, they go first to initiative. As you guys are running towards them, they are going to level their rifles and open fire on you guys.
Oh, good.
Hey, you didn't me.
Cora, first and foremost, does the 23 hit you?
It does.
So what about a crit?
A crit? Oh, obviously a crit is gonna hit me.
You take 15 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then oh my god. And on the crit, you take 23 piercing damage.
Oh no! Uh-oh!
Aaron,
Oh,
does a 21 hit you?
yeah.
Does an 11 hit you?
No. Ah!
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Oh, that's much better. You only take 9 piercing damage. Jorta, fucking Christ. Does a 14 and a 13 hit you? And Gwyn, does a 15? Oh my god, a 15 and a 13 hit you?
No, but they also have disadvantage when they're firing at me.
Okay.
Well, actually, disadvantage on the one that's a 15.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter because they didn't hit you anyway.
Okay.
But that's good to know. So as they just open up on you guys, they are about, you estimate, 30 feet away. And you do hear more footsteps descending the stairs as well.
Isn't your AC 14?
Yeah, but I have a cloak of displacement.
Oh, displacement cloak.
So that brings us to Guahuan. What are you doing?
Okay, you said there's people in front of us, but we also hear more coming down.
That's right.
Um,
You did just watch Cora get shot. I don't know how badly. I don't know Cora's health.
I'm okay, but like
That's
that
pretty
did
good
hurt
hit.
a lot.
What does about the damage? Okay. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna try and engage these people and shut them down as quickly as possible.
Okay, go for it. You move 30 feet towards them.
Yes. I only get one attack. I'm gonna hit, or try to hit one of the guys with my bardiche,
Go for it.
which is a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And it. Sorry, there's a series of things I have to add up here. So that's 5 piercing, and then there's 8 from that.
Just give me the total.
Yeah. It's 22 damage.
Okay. He's looking hurt. As you engage the first guy and whack him with your bardiche, you do see as you approach them, there is another group approaching from behind. You do see emerging from the stairwell.
From behind?
Yeah, from not behind you, but behind them.
Oh, I was like, the hell?
Yeah, behind them, you can see another 2 emerging from the staircase, and they're about another 30 feet away from you.
Okay, can I also then cast spiritual? Is spiritual weapon no, it's an action. Never mind.
I thought it was a bonus
action,
action to cast.
right?
Is it?
Or is it a bonus action?
This is
Kate,
an
do you
action
let
to-
us cast action spells and then bonus actions on the same turn because Ian doesn't
Nope.
let us?
No.
Okay.
No, that's in the core rules. You
Okay.
can't do that.
Sure. Yeah. Can I then cast spiritual weapon then because it's a bonus action?
Yes, you can.
Cast. Okay. Can I just smack the guy I just tried to hit?
You may.
With it? So it has to roll to attack too then?
Mm-hmm.
It's an 18 plus something. Is it just my spell attack?
It's just your spell attack.
Okay, so I guess that's a 21.
Up to the music. Yes, that hits.
Hold on.
Not great damage. That's 7 more damage.
He does go down.
Oh.
As you land the bardiche in your spiritual weapon, which takes what form?
It's actually kind of cool. It takes the form of a giant flaming warhammer, and when it appears, there's a green flash and a woman screaming.
Alrighty, as the screaming echoes down loudly the concrete and steel hallways, the hammer comes down, and in a flaming gout of fire, the cavalryman does go down.
Nice. Screaming lady. Flaming.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Alrighty, Cora, it's your turn. What are you doing?
I'm gonna charge forward and attack.
Alrighty, go for it.
Hold on.
Melee fighter, it's your turn. What do? I swing my sword.
We're doing we did agree to do the domain title stuff, right?
I believe so.
I thought we didn't.
I thought we did.
I was under the impression that I could still use
Because
Omen,
it was...
so.
I just scrolled up and found it.
The what now?
I'm pretty sure Kate said that we could.
What are we talking
So
about?
part of our domain
keep
organization
and
thing is we're
buffs.
able to do like certain things that give us like buffs. Basically, is what it is.
Like,
Such a
He went, what are org features? And then he went, sure, why not? Basically what I'm hearing is I need to build like your 13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
basically
but,
like
I don't know what they do though. No one has explained anything.
I'm trying
It
to explain to you. Basically, it's like for Gwen, she has the title Omen. It basically lets her use her bonus action to charge up an attack. Is like
sure.
what
Yeah,
mine is.
fine.
It's
Sure.
just like it's smaller stuff.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Go for it.
Okay, well, my thing is High Priest. Oh, Jockey's real again.
Back, Jockey.
My thing is High Priest, so I basically have temp hit points to someone within 30 feet of me. So I'll give Gwen temp hit points.
Okay.
Or 1d6 plus my condition. So that's you get 5 extra hit points.
I'll take it.
Yeah, like I said, it's not that much, but and then I'm gonna charge forward, and I don't feel like I need to use Smite, so I'm just gonna smack him twice with my sword.
Okay.
Let's see. I will use Great Weapon Master for one of them to see if I can get some extra damage.
Okay.
I take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If the attack hits, I add
Yes.
+10 to the attack's damage. So
Yes. It's like melee sharpshooter.
yeah. So first hit.
Are you doing it on the first one? Or the second one?
I'll do it on the second one. First one is a dirty 20.
That hits.
This one. Oh, that's another dirty 20.
Those
That's
both
already
hit.
with the minus. All right, both hit. So d6 plus I get a extra d8. Ooh. Oh. So the first hit is 14 slashing damage. Oh my god, an 8. And 8 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then the second one. Oh wait. Oh my god, I got 6 again. And then a 23. Or that was a 19 slashing and 4 radiant on the second one.
All right, and 2 quick swings. Similarly, one of the other riflemen does go down. You've got 2 in front of you, and you can see 2 more emerging from the stairwell. And you do know there's at least 1 more beyond because Horace was talking to someone about going up.
Okay. That's my turn.
All right, Aaron, what are you doing? You can only see 2 from where you're standing.
Okay.
The hallway curves to your left in front of you.
I am going to. How far apart from each other are they actually?
Those two would probably be about 10 feet away from each other.
And how far are they from us?
The nearest one is like 25 feet from you.
Okay. And our plan is we're just trying to get out of here, right?
Kill and get out, yeah.
I will. Oh, we actually just did this. I will cast Spirit Guardians, and then I will say, "Let's get moving," and I will go to the closest guy. I mean,
Okay.
What are your guardians this time?
I'm gonna go back to the
bats?
No, I'm gonna do like the little theme things that I did like the first time that I cast it.
We got
little devils.
goblins, we got bats, we got what were the other ones?
Crows.
Crows.
The crows are pretty damn cool.
You got little devils that are sort of floating around you. Do they have to do anything, or is it on their turn?
So, when they first enter the area on a turn, which is happening currently, it's a 15-foot radius around me, so 15 foot in front of me, 15 behind, and 15 behind.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it's a wisdom save for anyone within the radius, or not affecting our party though.
Okay, hold on. Or for the first time, or starts the turn there. So it doesn't happen until they start their turn.
But I just made them enter the area. Because I cast it and then moved into them.
When a creature enters the area for the first time, so the creature needs to enter the area, not you enter with the spell on their area. The way it's worded is it's on their turn. So it does not proc immediately, but on their turn it will. Alrighty, is that your turn?
Yep.
Alright, Gwyn, what are you doing?
Is
You can
Aaron
see
the
two
only
ahead
one
of you.
moved forward though?
Everyone is moved up. It's just you.
All right.
You can only see two from where you're standing.
Okay. I will rush up within 10 feet of the first guy and swing at him, I guess.
Alrighty, go for it.
Does a 22 hit?
Yes,
What about 19?
those both hit.
My dice. Wow. Alright, the first one does 7 damage.
Okay.
The second one does 9 damage.
Okay.
And then I will... Where is my other dice? I'm gonna bonk the other guy, but I don't know what I did with my Oh, there it is.
Alright, the first guy you bonked is starting to look a little hurt.
And then I will bonk him for another 8 with the
Alrighty.
end of my glaive.
Very good. You run up and you start whacking. Very good. Is that your turn?
And I move my full movement. I have a 10-foot reach,
Okay, yeah.
my glaive. So if I can push by them without taking opportunity attacks, I do so.
You wouldn't be able to push by them. You would be beside one of them. Or just slightly behind them, rather.
Okay, well, I'll do that then.
Alrighty. Alrighty, so now it is their turn. The two in the stairway, one of them is going to call up for a bit of help, and you are going to see one more emerge from the doorway. They're going to level their rifles and not fire. The two that are next to you, one of them is going to back up.
Save.
Oh, yes. So the first one that's right next to you is going to start running a wisdom save. That is a 4.
Bad.
This music is Pog, but it's also
I know.
very loud.
Turn it down
This
then.
guy's alignment.
Evil.
Okay. 16 damage.
Alrighty, he goes down to your spirit guardians as your devils start stabbing at him with their little pitchforks. The other guy also has to make it. He fails as well, so he also takes that 16 damage. But he is still up. Jorto, you get an opportunity attack as he's going to try to move away from you.
Oh. I can stack everything on that?
It's just a normal attack, singular. If there's anything that requires like an action or anything
No.
or a bonus action to use, you just hit him. Basically, just hit him.
I got a 20.
That hits.
20 damage.
20 damage. He goes down as well. Alrighty. So that ends their turn. Guahan, what are you doing? You've got 3 guys directly ahead of you. They've all leveled their rifles.
They didn't shoot us though.
Nope.
Question: are these mortal?
Mortal?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Are they?
Are they undead? Is what you're at. I think what she's asking.
No, they're not undead.
They mortal.
Is there something behind us? They stopped shooting.
A little off put that they stopped shooting, but is there anyone coming down the stairs?
You don't hear anyone else coming down the stairs at the moment.
Are they in front of the staircase then? Like how far have
They are. They are blocking the stairwell.
Can I try and do a push. So I have an adamantium shield.
So you're gonna approach them?
Yes.
Okay, as you approach, they are all opening fire on just you.
I had a feeling.
So, does a 23 hit you?
It does.
Okay, you take, oh my god, 24 piercing damage.
Uh-oh.
Does a 13 hit you?
No.
That is a crit.
Oh god.
I'll be fine.
Crit of the night.
I mean, I might die, but it's fine.
Okay, definitely rolls better than Ian.
38 piercing damage on the crit.
Oh
Damn.
my god.
In addition to the 24. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Does a 15 hit you?
No.
Does a 21 hit you?
No.
And does a 22 hit you?
No.
Alrighty, very good. So
Yeah.
they all open fire on just you, and I don't know what your health is. What are you at? What's your
Oh, no,
health?
I'm adding it up right now. Sorry.
Pull up your shield, little lizard.
We just leveled. You should.
I did.
be okay,
Ooh,
right?
yeah, he's super low right now.
Okay.
Guajuan is.
Yeah, I'm at a third of my HP.
I
don't have
have
Listen, Guahan is kind of a glass cannon. You know, you got the high AC but the low HP.
Okay,
Alright.
but look, like,
Super
this
low.
is how Ian has forced us to make our characters.
You take a single step towards them, and they all shoot you.
Georgia's like, "Hi!"
Are you going to continue what you were originally going to do, or are you going to do anything else?
Well, now the lizard's very angry. Can I?
Shayna, remember what you said going into this?
What?
About what?
About the lizard going ham, but he's probably gonna die.
Yeah, also, he's probably gonna die in this other world. I'm going to cast a fire spell on them.
Okay, what are you casting?
It is Flame Strike.
Okay.
Spice.
Don't you have to hit them in order to do that, or no?
Hang on, I'm bringing it up right now.
I was under the impression Flame Strike was something you cast on your weapon and then hit with, but I could be wrong.
No, that's Searing Smite.
Oh, that's serious, man.
Flame Strike is a column of fire,
Mm-hmm.
drops down in a 10-foot radius,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone has to make a dex save.
Alrighty. You can catch all three of them. They will make dex saves. There's a 22. There's a 23. And that was a 18, 17, and a 19 on, or an 18, 19, and a 17 on the dice. So the lowest is a 21.
Yeah, they all still take damage, but
Yeah.
it's not all of it. Okay, let me grab more d6s.
We're not even on roll 20 yet.
No, this is still just hallway battle with goons.
That rolled some good damage though for the first one. Each of them only takes. Are we rounding down or rounding up?
You round down on damage.
16.
16, alrighty. Your turn?
And then the spiritual weapon as a bonus action is going to move and bonk one of them.
The spiritual weapon can only move 20 feet, is that right?
I think it's. Is it 20 feet?
I thought it was.
Oh, are they 30 feet away?
They are.
Oh, never mind then.
Alright, do you move any closer?
No.
Okay. Alrighty. Cora, it's your turn.
Well, I'm gonna hope they already all fired their attacks, so
Okay.
I will advance on them as well.
Okay, go for it.
I can reach him, right?
You can, yeah.
Right, well, I'm gonna strike at the first person who comes my way.
Alrighty.
I will use Great Weapon Master on my first hit.
Okay.
Oh, that is another dirty 20.
That hits.
Second hit. Oh, this one might not hit. 15.
15. That misses.
Damn it. Okay, so that is. Oh my god, I keep rolling 6s, which is good. The first hit. 27 slashing damage.
He's down.
And oh god.
with the fire spell from earlier, he's down.
Plus 6 radiant, but
Yeah.
he's down, so I
Yeah.
guess it doesn't matter.
You strike once as you go to strike the guy next to him. Seeing it coming, he's going to deflect your sword with the stock of his rifle, and you do not connect on the second attack.
Yep.
Alrighty, is that your turn?
Yep.
Aaron, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna.
Oh wait, I'll also use my High Priest thing to give Jorta 6 HP. Temporary.
Nice.
There was no one like next to us that was still up.
Not next to you now.
I'm at 41 now.
Could be worse. How far away are those?
In front of you, there's still about 30 feet ahead of you.
I'll move to them.
Alrighty.
I will. None of them have taken damage, right?
No, they all have, because of the flame spell.
Oh, because of the flame spell. Okay.
Yeah.
Do any of them look like bloody? Yeah.
All three, or all two of them do. Both of them.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a weapon attack.
Go for it.
I don't need to use another spell.
Well, your devils move with you, don't they?
I rolled a nat one.
Alright. That's a
Oh.
failure as you pull out your knife and stab the more dexterous rifleman. Do parry your feeble jab.
Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna. I don't know. I have a bonus action, like. I'm done.
Yeah. Don't your little devils move with you?
Yeah, they do, but it moves the area, and as Kate said, it's not lets you moving the area.
Yeah,
They
so
only
they
take
enter the
damage
area,
if you-
right?
On their
He
turn.
said that damage on
Oh,
their
okay,
turn.
okay.
Yeah, that's his turn.
Alrighty. Very good. Brings us to Gwyn. Actually, no, it doesn't. Because as you guys are having this fight, the door behind you slams open violently.
Oh,
Thanks.
And you do see behind you, rapidly approaching you, is the mutated corpse of Horus, with what you can see is a rather large bullet wound in the chest. But you can see the fingers are sort of webbed, the mouth is like gaping open. It is a horrific sight and is beginning to run towards you from behind, from the sluice way.
And then it's my turn.
And now it's your. It is within 30 feet of you.
Keep going forward.
And we still have people next to us though.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's people 30 feet ahead of you.
Oh, okay. Who's currently in the back?
You.
I'm in the back. Oh, bye.
Everyone is clumped by the door except for you.
Right? Wahan's
And Guahan as well. Yeah. But Guahan is slightly ahead of you.
one
I-
step ahead.
I'm hurted.
Well, I'm gonna move my 30 feet up to the peoples.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing that, I'm gonna go, hey, that looks like a problem. Maybe we should get out of here faster, she says as she like starts running in that direction. And I'm going to set up my Mystic Arcanum, I think.
Okay.
So mine is a bit of, like, we homebrewed it a bit. So it's similar to the standard investiture. I can't say this word. Investiture of fire, wind, earth, whatever.
Yeah.
It's investiture of briars. So I cast it on myself. It is a concentration spell. As she casts it, Blackthorn vines whip up around us. They extend for a 10-foot radius. Any hostile creatures that enter the space for the first time on a turn or end its turn takes 1d10 slashing damage. The radius moves with me. I have a resistance to slashing and immunity to poison.
Okay.
And I can use my action to attack stuff, basically.
Okay.
So, as
Is it
she
an
casts,
action to cast, or is it a bonus action to cast?
it is an action to cast.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry.
So I have it pop up, and then as I'm running in that direction, I'm going to do the attacky part of it.
Sounds
So a 15-foot long arch extends in a direction you choose. Each creature being attacked has to make a dex save. So the two guys in front of us have to make a dex.
That is a 9. Oh god, it's a 9 and a 7.
Yeah,
Fucking
no, that doesn't
terrible.
work.
Terrible rolls.
So 3d10. Ooh. Okay. That is 17 necrotic damage to both of them then.
Okay, they both go down.
I will take it. That's the end of my turn.
Alrighty. Very good. The riflemen are down, but you can hear at least one of them going up, though you do hear him starting to shout to call in the rest of the riflemen and make sure that they can defend the stairwell. Is what you can hear him yelling as he's going up. And we'll just start next time there on the top of initiative, because I imagine you guys need to go to bed, some of you now.
I do.
Yeah. We'll call it there, and we'll pick up in that combat next time.
Sounds good.
One thing's gonna